flag. Like, this boiled down to like the #1 problem and the most consistent problem in our relationship. Are y'all ready? Y'all better clutch your pearls. Nothing could have prepared me for what I see next. I went back on his Snapchat story. Like I said, I felt like I got stabbed in the heart. Like, he really broke my heart with that one. He broke my heart with that one.
I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Sure that you cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like control. Yeah, like control.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Lisi, and I am back again with another epic, juicy, ghetto, very much drama 101 Storytime. Y'all probably wondering why I'm so happy right now. As y'all can see the title of the video, this is my Narcissistic X series part one, okay? Before I even get into my little disclaimer, I want to get into, if y'all don't see me crying in this story, if y'all don't see me like fully down this whole story, it's because I left this man like in 2019. We're in 2023. Okay, so listen, my mental math ain't that good, but that's going on 4 years. It'll make officially 4 years in August since I left this bitch alone. So I'm definitely healed from the situation. I'm moved on. I haven't been in a relationship since then, so that's gonna be the real test to see like how your girl really do. Like, is she really healed or is she not? But as far as me as an individual, like from that situation and from him, I have moved on. I am healed. So it's more so of like a reflection. I'm doing this story to help anyone that might be in a similar situation. And a lot of these things, because they happened so many years ago, I'm really going to be laughing at this point, because I'm just looking back and laughing at how low the bar was as far as my standards and what I accepted from a man. Okay, but before we get into that, I do want to say, if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisi or Alicia. My returning subscribers, was goody, was popping, was cracking. Y'all chilling, I bet. I was advertising like that I was, starting subscriber story times. However, y'all ain't send me no story times in yet. I'm still waiting. I don't know if y'all want me to do it or not. If you want to submit a subscriber story time, if you have a story time that you would like for me to tell on your channel, please send it to this email. I am still waiting. It's been weeks since I made the announcement and nobody has sent the story time in. So I would really appreciate if, somebody says some miss so we could get everything jumping. Again, the email is in my description box, and the steps to make sure that you got together before you even send me an email of your story time is in the description box as well. Okay, now let's get into the story time. So being that this is part 1 of the series, there is going to be a lot to unpack in this episode. Okay, I'm going to be giving you guys the introduction to this man, how I met him, everything. And if periodically, if y'all see me looking down, it's cause your girl got notes. Yes, I got notes, because I cannot left no stone left unturned when it comes to this story. I had to, because again, this is so many years ago that I even met him as well. So I have to make sure I get all the details of everything. I'm not going to tell y'all how many parts there is yet, but just know this is going to be multiple parts, and my next few story times are going to be this series. Okay, so I just want to put like another disclaimer real quick before I officially start the story. My subscribers, I would love for you guys, I would really appreciate for you guys to engage just a little bit more with my content. We have 2,000 subscribers now. Yay! Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining the Lease Gang. I don't know what else to call y'all right now. We have 2,000 subscribers right now. So Can we aim to get like at least 250 likes on this video? I think we can get 250 likes on this video if y'all want part 2 of the story. Let's get 250 without 250 likes and without, let's say, 50 comments. 50, I think that is a decent number for me to ask from you guys. 250 likes and 50 comments, whether you're a subscriber or not. I appreciate it either way, so that we can get part 2 out. Okay? All right, so now let's officially start the story. Okay, boom. So this, for my OG people who've been watching me, this is about Crazy. Yeah, if y'all heard that name in my other story times, his day has come. His day has come where I am exposing him. I am exposing his man. Oh my God. And if he's watching, I really don't care, because y'all gonna see by the end of the story time how things really panned out. Part 1, chapter 1, okay? So let's get into how I even met Crazy. I met Crazy when I was 18 years old, okay? And I was a freshman in college. This was in the year 2017. My grade year, or my year for college, really started in the ending of 2016, but this is after like New Year's, holidays, and everything at this point. I had met him, I want to say March, or I think it was like February, March 2017, okay? And how did I meet him? Girl, I'm letting y'all know from now. Part 1 is going to be long. All these parts is going to be long because there's a lot of details and a lot of BS that went down, okay? I met him through one of my friends at the time. And I had mentioned her on one of my other story times, but I didn't give her a name. Let's call her... I don't even know. Let's name her Brianna. Yeah, let's just name her Brianna. We're gonna give her a regular name. I'm not gonna give her anything too petty, because she's gonna, well, not that I even care, but she's gonna be in a story time later. There's another story time where later down the line, like nowhere near close right now, later down the line. Brianna, she had a girlfriend at the time named, I don't even know what to call this girl either. I don't know if I gave her, let's call her Nova, because I'm looking at a little Fashion Nova postcard. Nova, okay? So Brianna and Nova were dating. Brianna was a dyke, but she would, like, you know, cross from time to time. And Nova was a girly girl, okay? And then they had their friend Courage, who I mentioned in the She Swung in Me story time, linked above. Remember these names, y'all, for future story times, okay? So it was one night that Brianna, Nova, and Courage, they had went out to this bar that was literally down the block from our school, that all the kids would go to, because they, I want to say they let people who was under 21 in the spot, but it was like a restaurant slash bar. So if you entered the restaurant before a certain time, you would be able to stay in past the time where they were only doing 21 plus. So that is where they had met Crazy. I met Crazy through Brianna. Okay? I met Crazy through Brianna. Okay? To make the long story short, they met him at the bar that night. I'm not going to get into details about everything about that night, because again, it's going to be a separate story time later down the line. And basically, Crazy started hanging out around them. Okay? Let me put the biggest factor in this story. Like, let me just tell y'all this from now. Crazy, when they had met him and when I had met him, which was only a few weeks after they were already acquainted with him, Crazy was
29 going on 30.
Yeah. And how old did I say I was? 18. So, yeah, Crazy was 11 years older than me. Or he is, because I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Well, yeah, I don't know, but he probably is, yeah. He's 11 years older than me, hanging out around 18-year-olds. It's giving predator. Now that I look back on it all these years later, you're a predator, Papa. You had no business being around any of us. I mean, maybe if we was his cousins or his family or something, but no, we were young, naive, very easy to manipulate and groom young girls, okay? When Brianna had first told me about Crazy, she had told me like, yo, like we met this dude at the bar this night and he was buying us bottles and this, that, and the fourth and blah, 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 and do, right? So he started hanging around them. He would bring them bottles. He would bring them. It came to a point where Brianna started selling, okay, I'm not going to say that word again. Let's say ganja, right? Okay. It came to a point where Brianna started selling ganja for him because if y'all heard it any of my other story times, Crazy was the plug. He was the plug, okay? Like, he was a big plug. I'm not, well, okay, not like, you know, Shun is, but no, he was copping big amounts, okay? So that's why I'm saying, like, he was a plug, because he was copping big amounts and he was selling large amounts to other people, okay? So when I had first heard about all of this, I'm just like,
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Cause she told me his age. She's like, yeah, he's like 30 years old. I'm like, ew. Like, I had that discernment. At the time to know, like, why is a 30-year-old just hanging around 18-year-olds for fun? That makes no sense to me. But whatever. I wasn't going with the flow, but I was just continuing on. It came to the point where, like, the first day I had seen him, me and Brianna, we had walked to this pizza shop that was near our campus, and he had met her in the pizza shop for whatever they was meeting in there for. I really don't recall at the time, but they were meeting there for some reason, probably do like a little exchange or whatever. And I had seen him like up close because I've been hearing about him, and I was like, ooh,
sexy as fuck.
he kind of looked good. Like, he don't even look 30. He looks 24. Like, he looked really young for his age. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I ain't gonna sweat him too much, whatever the case may be. There were some other things that had transpired as well, but I'm gonna save that for a later story time as well. So boom. Now let's fast forward to maybe like a few weeks later. So now it was a day where, again, I'm hanging out with Brianna, because Brianna, she was like my friend, like past tense was like, just putting that out there. And I was hanging out around her like damn near every day. So I'm pretty sure it was like one day I was in her room, and mind you, I was getting over from this previous boy that I was talking to, who was my boyfriend. I was just, trying to get over him at the time. And Brianna was like, oh,
I'm about to link up with Crazy. You trying to come with me?
I'm like, okay, sure. Like, I'm pretty sure it was a day we didn't have no classes, or if we did, classes were already done for the day. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come with you. So we had went downstairs. He had a brand new car. I told you I was 2017, right? He was driving a 2017. So I was intrigued. Like, now I'm intrigued. Okay. So we go downstairs. He's already right in front of the dorm. She goes in the front and I go in the back. They're like, oh, hey, what's up? What's up? They greet each other. And Crazy, he turns to the back seat. He's like, and looks at me, and he's like,
Hey, yo, you trying to get some food?
I'm like, sure. And I was dead hungry too. I was literally hungry too. So that was the start of everything, low key. You trying to get some food, okay? So we have went to this Mexican restaurant, probably like 10 minutes away from our campus. And we at the restaurant, me, Brianna, and Crazy, we chopping it up, right? So I don't know if they planned this, if she was trying to set me up, or he just, shot his shot and scored, okay? But Brianna had went to the bathroom, and it was just me and Crazy alone at the table. And Crazy was like, yo, I'm loving this conversation that we're having. He said whatever he said, whatever game he had, and he winded up getting my digits, my phone number, okay? So he was like, yeah, can I get your phone number? I'm like, And mind you, from when I had first heard about this man, I was like, I want to say I was turned off, but I was just a little skeptical, because I'm just like, I just knew, why does a 30-year-old man want to hang out around 18-year-olds? Like, that was just the thing that just kept going back into my mind. But once he showed like he had some type of interest in me, all of that kind of went out the window, because it's like, he was 29 he was turning 30 maybe like 2-3 weeks from after we met him. And it's just like he had things, or he had the facade of that he had things, but he really did low-key. He had things that guys our age didn't have. Money, a car, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So that's really why I was intrigued, because I'm a broke college kid. Like, who wouldn't want to mess with a dude that has money in his pocket? Like, he has a whole car. Like, if I need to go somewhere or do something, like, I literally was able to ask him, hey, can you drive me this place, that place? And he did it, no problem. Now, me and Crazy, we're in communication apart from Brianna. We're talking now. Brianna knows that I'm talking to him, but it's like, you know, initially it was, I'm hanging out around Crazy because Brianna is there and she's like the mutual whatever. And now it's me and Crazy. We're talking on the phone. We're spending time together. He starts taking me out on dates. And mind you, no guy that I ever talked to had taken me out on a date besides the guy that I told y'all I was getting over prior to meeting him. And that boy, he literally only took me on one date, and it was to the movie on Jamaica Avenue. My Queens people, you already know, very ghetto. Crazy was taking me on dates, like, to all types of places. I really can't remember where, because again, it was so many years ago. But he was a date type of man. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna take you on a date. I'm gonna wine and dine you. He started paying for my hair to get done. Yeah, he was paying for my nails. He was paying for this cat to get waxed. All types of ish he was paying for. Like, he really was holding it down, because again, I had no money, I had no job, you know. I was basically a kid. I was 18 years old, I was a freshman in college. He was also like buying me food, and I told y'all he was the plug, right? So you know, he was dropping off trees for me. What? And he already knew that I was a pothead. So when he would come and link me, he would be like, here. He would have these little tubes of ganja. Here you go. And I'd be like, and as every time he would link up with me, he would be like, yo, do you need any more? Are you good? Do you need a real? And yeah, so I was basically getting like low-key spoiled. You know what I'm saying? He had just gave off this energy. He was giving off big D energy, like. And he was like, he had like an entrepreneur hustler type of mindset. So he was putting me on game to like a lot of stuff, and how to get money and this, that, and the fourth, blah, 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 blah. And then to top all of that off, to top everything off that I gave y'all, okay? Y'all know the D was fire.
Leg up. One arm on neck, one arm on frontal.
That's what I will give him. The D, like, not even just the D, like, the whole package of everything. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew where to touch. It was like he knew my body before he knew my body. Because when we finally took it there to that level, I've never been touched like that before. And that's how you know, like, the dudes I had before was little ass boys. This was a man. Like, this was a man, bitch. I am just like, wow. Like, I done hit the jackpot. Like, he doing stuff to me that dudes have never done to me. He is putting me onto all types of new stuff, whatever the case may be. So you could say I was on cloud nine. I was loving it there. I was loving it with Crazy. Okay, so now let's get into where the honeymoon stage is semi dying down. Okay, let's get into that. Okay, these are gonna be like early red flags that I would notice, like, with today's version of myself that I didn't notice then. Okay, so these are the early red flags that should have been my sign, like, something is off with this man. Something is off. Now y'all probably gonna look at me like, girl, really? Like, this is a red flag? Yes, this is a red flag. Okay, so it was one day, I'm not gonna get into the details, but he had got me upset, and I had told him, yo, bring me back to my mother and dorm. Like, I don't want to be in your face. You know, he was trying to apologize and stuff. Mind you, this is still very early on. This is before I'm even officially this man's girlfriend. I was like, yo, bring me back to my dorm. Like, I don't want to be with you. Like, I was chilling at where he was staying at the time. It wasn't his official apartment yet, because he didn't move into his apartment yet, which will... Yeah, I guess I can tell you now. He's not even from New York, y'all. He's from Florida. So, he didn't... To my knowledge, he didn't just move from Florida, like, around this time, but he just moved from another state to New York. So, he was staying with a family member at the time before he had got his apartment. So he had got me upset. I was like, yo, drive me back to my dorm. He drove me back to my dorm, and we probably didn't speak for 2 days, because I was just like, I wasn't turned off, but I was just like, why would you do something that I told you I wasn't, you know, fond of or approved of, and you still did it out of my face? Like, what do you mean? So it was the 2 days later, and I don't know whose dorm I was in, but I was in one of my friend's dorms, and he had called me. I had answered, and he was like,
Hey, I really just want to apologize again for the other night. And I just wanted to see, you know, if you was around, if you wasn't busy, because I am in your area. And I wanted to, you know, stop by and just speak with you really quickly if you had a moment.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So I think I had told y'all in the last story time, or in a couple other story times, I went to school in Westchester, New York, more specifically New Rochelle. So that's where I stayed at, and he stayed in Mount Vernon. So he stayed in Mount Vernon, and Mount Vernon is about 15 minutes away from New Rochelle. So he happened to be in the area for whatever reason. I was like, yeah, I guess I'm available, I guess. And he had pulled up on me. He pulled up to the dorm that I was in. We went in a car, and we had parked up in this parking lot near my school. I also forgot to mention to y'all, he really helped sharpen my driving skills. Like, I already knew how to drive prior to meeting him, but like, he really taught me how to drive. It's one thing to know how to drive, but it's another thing to know how to drive. You are driver. You push the pedal, okay? He taught me how to push the pedal, okay? That was another thing that had me intrigued, because, you know, he didn't even know me for that long, but he was letting me drive his car and stuff like that. So, again, your girl was intrigued. So now, boom, now we're in the parking lot, and he's basically, like, apologizing. And I'm just like... I just got an attitude, because it's like, you're doing all of this for why, right? Girl, why does this man say, oh, I have something for you? And I'm like, okay. He gets out of the car, goes to his trunk, and pulls out a box, right? Comes back to the front. I mean, I didn't know it was a box until he came back to the front of the car, but it was a box. He came back in the car with a shoebox, okay? And I'm like, what? Wait, I know this is not what I think it is. And sure enough, it was what I thought it was. It was the Jordan 1 All-Stars, okay? Let me know in the comments if y'all copped them sneakers when they dropped in 2017. No, those are some hot Jordan 1s out. And I'm from NYC, y'all. We are definitely a sneaker culture out here. I mean, I'm sure in other places as well, but like, New York be on their sneakers, like, especially the Jordan 1s, your white ups, your Air Force 1s, your whatever you got. He had got me these sneakers as an apology gift. And I'm shocked. Because I'm like, wow, like, this man pays attention. Like, he really pays attention to, like, when I talk. Because I kid you not, y'all, it was probably only a few days prior to when he had pissed me off, and we were in a sneaker store literally not too far away from my school, and I was looking at the All-Stars. Mind you, I ain't have enough money to buy them, because again, I'm a broke college kid. Let them drop them shits today, I'm copping them immediately, but that's a different story, you know what I'm saying? Today. I hope they re-drop them. Nike, please re-drop those shoes. Okay. I'm gonna get into why I don't have them now, right? Okay. So I opened the box. I'm like, oh my God, like, you bought me the sneakers that I was talking about that I wanted. He was like,
yeah, you know, because I felt really bad about the other day, so I just wanted to get you these, accept my apology, please, accept my.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm sucking his. Like, I'm like, okay, cause I'm like, wow, like he. Not only do you pay attention to when I talk, but like, you really try to make up for what you did by buying me a whole gift. And it's just like, wow. But let me tell y'all why this is a red flag. Because it's kind of like, I feel like that's the equivalent to one of these rich dudes buying you a Birkin or buying you a Rolex or having you cry in the RR. Like, that's what I feel like it's the equivalent to. You think because you have money, monetary things can solve your fuck up. So that's kind of why it was a red flag for me. But that was like, at the time, it wasn't a red flag for me. It's a red flag for me now. But at the time, no. But I didn't wind up keeping the shoes because they were a size 8. Because he just guessed like what size I was. Like, he just took a wild guess on what size shoe I was. Because again, y'all, we had just started talking. So he don't know every last thing about me down to like what size I wear for this, that, and the fourth. I'm a 7.5. Like, the 8 was just too big. So he was like, all right, I'm gonna return it and get you it in the right size. But I think by the time he went back to the store, my size was already sold out. Like, these were some hot shoes in 2017, y'all, if y'all are into sneakers and things of that nature, okay? So that was the first red flag. I mean, the most major red flag is the fact that he was 30 years old. Like messing with an 8, like, did y'all acknowledge that at this point? Okay, cool. Let's get into the next red flag that I noticed. Here's another red flag he had. I wouldn't say he had a drinking problem, but the man could drink like a fish. Like, alcohol was his friend. And I wouldn't say he was one of those people that turned into a different person when he drank, like he couldn't hold his liquor. But like, if he was drunk and he got mad, horrible combination. Like, horrible combination. And like, his drinking just led him to do, like, I wouldn't say dumb things, but like low-key dumb things. So that's another red flag. Another red flag, again, this is when we were first started talking. I remember we was driving around one night trying to find somewhere to go out to, and because I was underage, all the spots that he wanted to go to I couldn't get into. Granted, there were some spots he was able to get me into, like, he would tip the security at the door a little more money just to get me in, but obviously that would start to become annoying at a certain point. I remember we was driving around one night and he was like,
yo, like, I see so much potential in you. Like, I see so much potential in you.
And I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe, because I thought I glowed up from I definitely glue up from high school, but I didn't go to my full. Y'all see how I look right now? I wasn't looking like this at 18. It's giving young, hot, tender Rooney, but it's giving little grown. Grown is sexy. But moral of the story, he saw potential in me because personally, I know the terminology now. I feel like this was pre-grooming, or he was getting ready to groom the fuck out of me, which is exactly what semi went down. And it's like, yeah, as a man who, you're trying to court me, if you see potential in me, like, what do you see potential in me for? Like, business-wise or just life-wise? I just really feel like he seen, like, I was a beautiful girl, because I've always been a baddie.
She a baddie, she know she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend.
She a baddie, she know she a 10. She a baddie with her baddie friend. Okay, I've always been a baddie, okay? But it's really levels to this baddie stuff. Like, 18-year-old me and 24. Girl, I'm gonna be 25 in like 3 months. Wait till y'all see me on my 25th birthday. Okay, I'm gonna be looking like a problem. And I'm already a problem. He saw potential in me. Like, and I feel like that was a red flag, like I said, because the whole pre-grooming situation. So now let's get into some more red flags, y'all. I know y'all probably, this is why we're doing multiple parts, because I have to give y'all all the tea, okay? So here's another large red flag. I remember it was one day we were at his family member's house that he was staying with at the time, and we were just chilling or whatever, and somehow he gets into this conversation with me about how his past relations with other women, okay? So he tells me that his last relationship was 5 years prior, so he's been single for 5 years. And his last girlfriend, he choked her out.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, he told me. Mind you, this was, I wouldn't say long before, but this was, again, before I was his girlfriend. We were still in the honeymoon stage. And I'm not thinking nothing of it because I'm like, he's not going to choke me out. he ain't going to put his hands on me. Like, I wouldn't even do anything for him to put his hands on me, right? Yeah, okay. So he tells me that he choked out his last girlfriend because he caught her cheating on him with her coworker. So because he figured this out, I don't remember how exactly he figured it out, but because he figured this out, he winded up pulling up to her job one day to fight her coworker, who's a male, obviously. But I guess instead of that happening, he literally bust the windows out this man's car.
I said, damn, bitch.
Okay, he bust the windows out his car because he was so angry. And he winded up getting arrested, like I told y'all, and I bailed my ex out of jail because that's about crazy as well. This nigga got mugshots. He has several mugshots. Y'all ever seen that little panoramic of Tommy and all of her mugshots? Yeah, he got mugshots like that. Well, maybe not as much as Tommy, well, that I know of, but from what I've seen, because I looked him up. Yeah, I looked up his name and I saw several mugshots. Like when he started telling me how he got arrested for this, that, and the fourth, I was like, who am I dating? Like, I'm dating a criminal. Like, as a result of him getting arrested for busting the windows out of the man's car, well, I can't say the mistress because mistress is for women, but let's just say that for this story time, mistress. After he busted the windows out his car, he was court-ordered anger management. Keep that in mind, y'all. And like I just told y'all a few moments ago, alcohol plus him being mad was a horrible combination. So for all we know, he was drunk the day he decided to bust the windows out this man's car. I really don't know. Okay, let's get into the next red flag. So he proceeds to tell me about one of the last women that he was dealing with when he lived in the other state. It wasn't Florida. He was living like across the country, y'all. He was staying in Cali, right? Okay. So he was staying in Cali for, I don't remember how long he had told me he was staying in Cali for, but he tells me that he was dealing with a woman out there and he didn't tell me like they were official boyfriend and girlfriend or everything. Maybe that's what he was thinking on his end, but he had her thinking something else. I wouldn't be surprised because that's the type of man that he is. So he tells me that prior to him moving to New York, when he was staying in Cali, basically this woman that he was talking to, I don't know how old she was, but I can't assume that she was older than me, but let's just say she was somewhere in her 20s. Basically, he tells me like,
yeah, like the last girl I was talking to, like, she was crazy as fuck. She was this crazy ass. She burnt all of my clothes, bleached all of my clothes, and I basically came out to New York with little to no clothes. I don't even have that many clothes because she messed up all my sneakers. She tore them up.
Like some movie shit, y'all. Like this is the stuff that you hear in the movies, and he's telling me this happened to him in real life. And, you know, he's just painting her out to look crazy. And one thing that I've learned in my little life so far is that it's his side, her side, and the truth. And my thing is, I'm pretty sure if I would have heard homegirl's side of the story, it would have been a complete, like, it would have been he was master manipulating her. He was probably gaslighting the F out of her. He was probably trying to sell her a dream and trying to tell her she was the only girl. And he was probably messing with a whole bunch of hoes, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. But we're going to get into it, y'all. Don't worry. We're going to get into it, okay? So that's another red flag, okay? This is the biggest red flag of them all. I mean, they're all pretty big, but like this red flag, like this boiled down to like the number one problem and the most consistent problem in our relationship. Are y'all ready? Y'all better clutch your pearls. Clutch your pearls for what's coming up next, because I don't think y'all are ready, okay? Now we're at a point where, hold on, your girl is thirsty again. So now we're at a point where, me and Crazy, we are raw dogging. He is sleeping over in my dorm. And mind you, I have my own dorm room. I was in a single dorm because if y'all don't know, I'm an only child. I'm used to having my own space. So going to college, I was so glad that they had single dorms available. The only thing is that it was communal bathrooms, but they were cleaned daily. So I never had any crazy nasty situations. He would come to my dorm damn near every night at this point, the shit out of me. Okay, like and he was nasty. Like he was nasty. He was a freak, a leak. Okay, sleeping in my bed every night, taking me out, the whole 9 yards, y'all. Okay, at this point, okay. It was one night. He was in my room, laying up in my bed. Like I think we had just finished. I don't think we just finished doing the do. I think he was just comfortable, like, cause he didn't really have no clothes on. And I was doing whatever I was doing. But he was laying in my bed and I was just up walking around doing whatever I was doing, right? And he was on the phone with one of his friends that happened to be a female, okay? Happened to be a female. I think the camera just shook, sorry, okay? And at the time, I wasn't sweating it because, again, this is a friend that he had prior to me, 1, and 2, like my room, y'all see like how my room is decorated right now, like girly. So you know my college dorm was decorated girly as well. So I'm like, okay, well if he's on FaceTime with another woman, like I don't think it's nothing to worry about, because she would have been questioning him like, where are you at, and da 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 da. So he had told me, and I think she had called him, and he was like, oh, my homegirl is calling me, I'm gonna just talk to her real quick and then hang up, because obviously he was spending time with me. I'm like, okay, cool, you know, they talking on the phone, and I'm not even really paying attention to the conversation because they not really talking about nothing out of pocket. They just on some regular stuff, so I didn't really care, right? Keep that in mind, y'all. Keep the homegirl in mind. And we gonna name her Fezbo. Not like Fezco. Not like Fezco from Euphoria. But Fezbo. Y'all are gonna see why. Now, what's next on my notes? Hold on. Like, what did I want to say next? So now it's probably like, I don't know, a few weeks later, not too long after this moment where, you know, he was on the phone with Fezbo. And he tells me, mind you, when he was on the phone with her, he had told me like, oh yeah, like she lives in another state, okay? But I think he had told me she lived, at the time, he had told me that she was living in Georgia. Keep that in mind, y'all. And again, I wasn't paying attention to all the details of this conversation that they were having and the information, the small amount of info that he had given me on her, because I wasn't worried about her at the time. I wasn't worried about her, okay? It's a few weeks later now, and he tells me like, yeah, I'm about to go out of town for business. And I'm like, okay, do you, boo? Yes, my man. Even though he wasn't my man yet, I was like, my man. Because I already knew he was the plug. So I'm thinking he's going out of town on some plug. You know what I'm saying? And he tells me he's going to Georgia. He tells me he's going to Georgia. Okay? Now, even then, at this time, what's not clicking, Steven? What's not clicking, Lacey? Things were not still clicking in my head that, oh wait, you're going to Georgia on business, but you just told me that your female friend lives in Georgia, right? That wasn't clicking in my head. Okay, my camera battery definitely just died. I don't know where it cut off at, but I think I was saying something. Where's my iPad? Oh, God. Yo, this recording thing is a lot, okay? I had to get up, go get the extra battery, all that stuff. Am I focused? Yeah, focus. We don't have the time to not be in focus. Okay. All right. Y'all see the look at do y'all see my baby hairs? Oh my god. Like, okay, let me start. All right. So yeah, things weren't clicking at the time that, you know, Fesbo lives in Georgia and he's going to Georgia for DK business, right? Okay. So boom. So then, okay. Then he tells me maybe about a week or two later, okay, because he was going to Georgia in like, let's say like the middle ending of May, and he started telling me this information in like April type. So he knew in advance where he was going and what he was intending to do when he went out there. Okay. I think it had crossed my mind that don't his little friend live in Georgia? But it kind of just flew over my head. I thought about it and it left my brain. Okay. So maybe like let's say 2 weeks later, he comes back and he tells me, he's like,
yeah, Alicia, so I just wanted to tell you that remember my trip I told you that I was taking for business?
I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah, so
it's no longer just business. I'm going out there for business and to visit my friend.
I'm like,
That's suspicious.
Okay. What friend? Like, what friend? He was like, oh,
Fesbo.
I'm like, okay. And again, I wasn't the girl that I am today, so I wasn't asking the necessary questions I needed to ask. So I just took that with a grain of salt. I'm like, okay, I mean, he's been on the phone with me in front of her before, so I'm not worried about nothing. Like, you gonna go visit your friend and come back here? No problem. Do what you gotta do, boo. Okay.
Stupid.
Okay. Now, it's another few weeks later, okay? And it's maybe like, I want to say literally maybe like 3 or 4 days before it is time for everyone to move out of the dorms, because it is about to be summer recess. Classes are over. Finals week is done, like, or is about to be done. And I think I was in the process of like packing up my room already and everything like that to go back home. And I think we had hung out. We had did something, I don't remember, but I think he was either dropping off, he was dropping off ganja. He was dropping off ganja to me or whatever we was doing. And he was like, yeah, so,
Before you go inside, let me talk to you real quick. I gotta talk to you about something.
I'm like, yeah, what's up? Da-da-da. He was like,
I just want to know, like, how would you feel about me another woman?
I know you fucking lying, bitch.
what? I had to like recollect to make sure I heard the man correctly. I said, how would I feel about what? He said,
how would you feel about me another woman?
I told him I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't be okay with that. That wouldn't make me comfortable. You f***ing another woman. Because again, y'all, he had already been whining and dining me. He had already been paying for hair, nails, and cat wax. You had already been raw dogging and f***ing the shit out of me. Why would I be okay? And sleeping in my bed. Why would I be okay with you f***ing another woman? So I don't remember like Crazy's words verbatim, but when I had basically told him like, yeah, that's not something I would be okay or comfortable with, he basically tells me,
well, you know, if that's not something that you're comfortable with, I guess you're gonna have to reevaluate what we got going on, because I'm going to go f*** another woman.
And I'm just like, he didn't say that verbatim, but he said something along those lines. So imagine you being 18 years old, you know, And mind you, I already have feelings for this man, like, obviously at this point, because of everything that he was doing for and with me. And you come out, and I'm like thinking, like, damn, like, am I not good enough? Like, is this with me not good enough that you're still looking for other sources? It's like, why are you doing all of this? Why are you spending all this money on me? Why are you spending so much time with me? Why are you sleeping in my bed with me every night if you gonna turn around and fuck another girl and then tell me, like, you could have just fucked the other bitch and went on about your business, but you're telling me for what? Right, okay.
Hey everybody, I'm here editing right now, and I have forgot to mention that basically this man had given me some type of like diabolical ass reasoning as for why he was going to go have intercourse with another woman, and I'm pretty sure it entailed like something along the lines of, you know, we both still single, da da da. Like, sir, what? Like and listen, y'all, before y'all judge me, because if you think that this is bad, like, y'all don't even know this, we're not even a quarter of the way into the BS that I put up with in this situation. But before y'all judge me, please remember, like, I was literally 18 years old dealing with a 30-year-old master manipulator. Okay, like, I promise y'all, like, today's version of me would never, like, let a dude, like, say something like that to me today. Like, I would cut them off immediately. Like, what do you mean you're gonna go another girl? Like, go the girl. Like, you don't even have to tell me all of that. Like, for real, like, just go and, like, I don't need, if we're not together, you know what? Okay, that's tricky. It's tricky, but it's just like, if you want to be on your single-ish and you still want me to be in your good graces, it's like, what I don't know is not going to hurt me. But that sure did. It did.
I had gathered my things and I had left his car, and then from there, we didn't speak for like a few days. I was like, I'm not feeling this, like, at all. Like, and it's like, I was just trying to figure out my emotions and, like, everything, like, really. Now it's a few days later. It's probably like, yeah, it's not a week. It's almost a week later. It's a few days later. I have moved out of my dorm already and everything like that. And he calls me, okay? He calls me, and I answered, and I don't even think it was almost a week. I think it was probably like 2-3 days later, honestly, because the man would not leave me alone, right? So he calls me, because I'm like, I'm damn sure not calling his ass, because you were like, you gonna fuck another girl, go fuck her then. It ain't much that I could do, especially if you already made up your mind, you know, before even coming to me and having this conversation with me. He calls me, we're on the phone, we're talking. He's like, oh, hey, you know, I haven't heard from you in a few days. And, you know, I'm just being very dry, because it's like, yeah, of course you haven't heard from me from a few days. Like, do you not remember the information that you just delivered to me a few days prior to this conversation? So he's just talking like everything is normal, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, blah, 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 right? Okay, cool. Now, it's a few more days later, right? It's probably like a week, because mind you, school ends in May. College, well, I don't know what goes on for y'all if you're in college or if you went to college, but for me, we was moved out by like May 15th, like the middle of the month now, right? So now I'm back home, starting summer, and I'm looking for a job so that I can, you know, because I know I'm not going to be around him 24/7 because, or at least that's what I thought, because he lives all the way in Westchester and I live in Queens. And my New Yorkers, y'all already know, Westchester to Queens, Queens to Westchester. Whether you're in a car or you're taking a train, that's not a 1, 2, 3 commute. It's going to take you some time to get up there. Not that long, but long. If you know, it's not a 10-minute drive, not even a 20-minute drive away. It's about 40 plus minutes away. Okay? I want to say now, it's either a week or a few days before he's supposed to go to Georgia, right? And I'm still not even thinking like he's going to Georgia to fuck a female, right?
Stupid.
I'm thinking like he's talking about somebody like up here in New York. I remember this day, girl. I was at, girl, this is a whole other character too that's gonna be in some story times down the line, but I ain't gonna name her right now because I really gotta think of something real strategic for her. But it was this girl, she went to my school and she literally lived down the block, like a few houses down from where I live currently, okay? And we have found out we lived on the same block after we was already at the college, so it was like so crazy because it was just like, how was it that we lived on the same block this whole time? We've never seen each other. We never knew each other, whatever the case may be. She don't live on the block no more, what I found out through the grapevine. Because, you know, this is my block. Okay, let me stop. So I was chilling with her at her house because we could smoke inside of her crib. So, you know, it was, you know, kind of convenient. I mean, even though it was summer, we could smoke outside, inside. It don't even really matter, you know. I get a phone call from him. I'm like, hello? He's like,
yeah, you busy? What you doing? What you got going on right now?
I ain't doing shit. You know, I'm sitting here chilling. I'm smoking with, what's her name? Or whatever the case may be. We just chilling. He's like,
I gotta talk to you.
Here you go again. Like, how many times you gotta talk to me about something? You gotta bring something to my attention. How many times? So this man is getting ready to tell me whatever the he gotta tell me today. I'm like, now what? Not what he gotta say now. Girl. Y'all about to clutch your pearls. Y'all about to clutch your mother pearls. That's why his name is Crazy. This crazy, psychotic, dumb ass
nigga
fixes his mouth to tell me.
So, you know I'm going out of town, you know, in a few days, right?
I'm like, yeah. He's like,
yeah, so, I just want to be straight up with you. I just want to be upfront with you and tell you, like, what's really going on. And basically, my trip, I'm not doing any business out on my trip. I'm not doing any business. It is no longer a business trip anymore. This is going to just be a trip for me to visit my friend Les.
Oh, not even Lesbo. This is, girl, I messed up just now.
Fesbo. This is going to be a trip for me to just visit my friend Fesbo.
And I'm like, so why you ain't just tell me that from the start? Like, you literally just went from a business trip to businessing your friend to now it's just your friend. Like, that is very suspicious, okay? So he's like, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I just want to tell you straight up before I even go out there. Fesbo, she's been going through a lot. She used to live where else she used to live, and she's living in Georgia. She hasn't lived there for that long, and you know, she don't have any friends out there. So, you know, I'm just visiting her to give her some company as well, because one of her homegirls just died, so she's going through the process of grieving with all of that and everything as well.
You know, giving me all the cushion before he hits me and stabs me straight in the heart, right? Because that's exactly what happened. I'm sure y'all can see where this is going, okay?
I just want to let you know, with me going out here, there's a possibility that her and I might have sex. her and I might have sex. But you know, it's really up in the air. It's really up in the air. You know, we've had before, and the only times that we have had is when we were really, really drunk, because she's a lesbian. She's a lesbian. She doesn't men. She doesn't men at all. But the only man she has been me. So I just want to tell you all of that information before I go out there, because again, there is a possibility. I can't tell you whether we are or aren't gonna have. Like, I really don't think we are, but there is a possibility we might if we do drink a lot. But you know, again, she is a lesbian. She's a lesbian.
What did he say?
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.
Oh, God. Girl. The tea. The piping hot tea. Let me just just tell y'all something. If this was 2023 Alicia, okay, now we're talking about 2017 Alicia. We're talking about, at this point, I'm still 18 years old, Alicia. Okay, I was turning 19 in about a month from this conversation. If we're talking about 24 going on 25-year-old Alicia, and let's say I had all the same experiences, but maybe with a different person, or maybe I had similar experiences and I was still, you know, experienced enough, right? My ass would have blocked him. First I would have hung up the phone. I would have told him to suck my dick, and I would have hung up the phone and blocked him, and he would have never spoke to me again. That's just today's version of me. But obviously we know, which is why we have this series, that's not the actions that took place for me specifically. That's why we have a series. It's not just one story time, y'all. It's multiple. It's multiple. So in this moment, a is gagged. I am gagged. I am flabbergasted. I am confused, perplexed, and just like I said, I felt like I got stabbed in the heart. Like, he really broke my heart with that one. He broke my heart with that one. Cause I don't know what the to say. I don't know what the to say at this point. You going where? To do what? With who? Your friend? Who's a lesbian? She's not a lesbian if she's taking. I'm so sorry. You are not a lesbian if you're taking. Fight with me in the comments. You're bi. Fight with me in the comments, please. I beg you. I beg you. I beg you to fight with me in the comments. Might I add, y'all, you see, that's why I got my notes right here, because I forgot like a few little pieces from my notes. When we were on the phone, he also mentioned, because he used to live, like I told y'all, he's from Florida. So when he was in Florida, he had moved to a different part of Florida from his original hometown at a point. And he also mentioned to me that he had met her. He was like, oh, this is what he said too. Oh, you know, this is all like in this conversation as he's trying to do damage control or try to get me to empathize with the situation and why he's about to go out of town and fuck this bitch. He tells me that, yes, you know, we've been friends for 5 years. I met her in Florida. You know, it was a point where I was living on the beach. I was homeless and she took me in. You know, like he owes his life. Like he's I'm sorry, I'm getting over like a little mini cold. He tells me, like, he's telling me this as if he owes his life to this bitch, so he has to go out there and fuck her. So, he also tells me too, like, it was a point where they were both living in New York and they lived together. They were roommates and all of this other stuff. Mind you, he had told me like very early on that he lived in New York some time ago, like prior to this time that he was living in New York, because like I told y'all, when I had met him, he had just came back to New York because he was in Cali. So he's like a nomad. He was living all over the 50 states for all I know. Okay, he had told me early on when we had first started talking that he was living in New York and he had a roommate, but he had failed to mention that his roommate was a female that he was used to friends with benefits. I don't know like what the original dynamics of the friendship was, because I don't know what to believe at this point, because it's like you just went from story A to story B to story C, and story C is wild. It is wild. So y'all, I can't tell y'all like what I said to him and what my initial reaction was, but from what I remember, I feel like a part of me was trying to like convince him not to fuck her. Like, and I think he was just gaslighting the out of me. Y'all could imagine like how bad I was getting gaslit. It's giving gas leak. We need to evacuate the building type shit. And I think I finally had, I'm like, am I not good enough? Like, why do you have to fuck her? Like, he's like,
no, like, you know, like, I really don't feel like it's gonna happen.
Cap.
She's a lesbian. We have to be really drunk. The only times we...
Like, he kept trying to reiterate to me of how much of a lesbian this girl was and how drunk they needed to be in order to even engage in intercourse with each other. Y'all, part one. This is only part 1, too. Like, what? We have about like 4 more parts after this part, y'all. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, I can't believe like this man even said something like this to me. I'm hurt. You know, he and then it's like you drop this load of information on me, and at the same time he is trying to make me feel okay with what is about to happen. And it's like the me today knows that, and maybe even the me then but didn't want to really accept it, that this man is going out of town to this girl. All the nasty that he does to me, he's gonna do to this girl. Cause like I told y'all, he's a freak-a-leak. He's not gonna have and then half-ass it just cause she's and then y'all gonna be drunk? Come on, like who are you trying to fool? But obviously he fooled my young dumb ass. He fooled me big time. So I can't even tell y'all, because I really don't remember, because it was so many years ago at this point, how this conversation ended this day. But I can't tell you how to conversate. Just know I was left very unsettled. Like, I was left like, damn, like, this is the same girl, like, he was on the phone with in my room with me, that he's going out of town to go now, and I'm supposed to just be in New York and just wait for him to come back? Okay. After this conversation, you know, he still remained in contact with me up until his flight, which we'll get into right now, okay? So this man, and I know y'all probably sitting there, jaws dropped. Didn't I tell y'all to clutch your pearls? Didn't I tell y'all to clutch your pearls? Now it's the day that he's leaving, right? He's at the airport still on the phone with me. Like, he was on the phone with me all day, every day leading up to this trip, right? So now he's at the airport. Here's another little red flag that I done peeped, because he's a hoe ass. We on the phone or whatever, and all of a sudden I hear him say some shit like,
damn, she look good,
while he's in the airport. Mind you, I know what he said. I know exactly what he said. I'm like, huh? What did you say? He said, oh, no, nothing. I ain't say nothing. I didn't pretend like I didn't hear what I heard, but I just had left it alone. I'm like, in the airport looking at females, like, wow, like, why you're on the phone with me, like, wow, like, how disrespectful. After he had said that, it was probably like maybe like, I want to say 5-10 minutes I was on the phone with him after he said that little weird fucking comment. And he was like, oh, you know, my plane is about to board. Mind you, it was like nighttime. Like, he had a nighttime flight. So he was like, yeah, my plane is about to board. I'm going to hit you back once I touch down in Georgia. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you know, at least, you know, he's still trying to be in communication with me when he gets there. Lies. Mentirosos in Spanish. Lies. He was not in contact with me when he got to Georgia. When he got to Georgia, y'all, I did not exist. And y'all like, what you mean you didn't exist? Like, he didn't call you? Not only did he not call me at all, okay, but he was on Snapchat having the time of his life, okay? So I'm assuming maybe he got there like late that night, he settled in, and now it's like the next day now. His day one there, because I think he probably spent about 4 or 5 days out there, y'all. Might I add, okay? His first day out there, I'm just seeing everything on Snapchat, because I had the man on Snapchat. I'm just tapping through like, wow, okay. He is him and Fezbo. Okay, now do y'all see why her name is Fezbo now? Because she's a fake lesbian. Now, I don't know if he was trying to project that she was a lesbian, or she was trying to claim that she was a lesbian, but she's not a lesbian. You taking that nigga up, and you had it before, and you going back, you are definitely not a lesbian. You like. I liked his dick too. Shit, I'm not even mad at her for wanting to have a taste let's talk about the Snapchat stories, right? So him and this girl, they're out. You would have thought they was a couple, okay? Because first of all, they was out to eat. He posting their plates of food, and you can see like her little hand, like the corner of her hand, or like her little body frame, like in the corner, like he not showing. Y'all know how y'all take them videos or pictures to show that you're out with somebody, but hold on, camera is not focused. Stop playing with me. Y'all know how y'all take them little footages or whatever to show that you out with somebody, but you not showing their face because no face, no case. You don't want people. But I knew, taking little pictures, videos of their food and stuff. It's like you know what? Let me just tell you before I say the thing that I just thought of. Now they're out at, they mini golfing, so he getting the videos of her. Now they go-kart racing. Now they're at an arcade. Like, he's just vlogging, bitch. He would have thought the man was a YouTuber vlogging his whole trip, bitch. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, well, damn, like, why? You already told me, like, what you first of all, you know you have me on Snapchat, right? You already told me what you was going out there for. Why rub it in my face that you were out here having a time of your life doing all the things that you do with this, with me? Like, I just wasn't getting it. So something told me, like, Alicia, stop watching his Snapchat. Like, stop watching his, like, for the rest of the day. I told myself, listen, focus on what you want to do. He's in Georgia, you're in New York, do you up here, but stop watching his Snapchat. So I logged off of Snapchat for the day and was just doing whatever I was doing to get my mind off the fact that he's out on dates with his so-called friend that he may or may not, right? So yes, I continued on with the rest of my day. I had clicked off because I'm like, yeah, these motherfuckers having too much fun for me. And it's like, deep down, I knew that they were going to have, like, with how their day, how their vlog, how their daily vlog was going on this man's Snapchat. But I just didn't want to believe, like some part of me still had hope that, you know, they wasn't gonna do the do, right? Okay. So now it's the next day, y'all. Mind you, I still haven't heard from him. He still has not contacted me. It's the next morning after he's already been out there for like a full day now at this point. And a part of me, you know, y'all know the saying, if y'all don't know, now you're gonna know, curiosity kills the cat, and I got killed. Someone was like, just go on to Snapchat. Just go on to Snapchat and just see what's there, right? I went back on his Snapchat story. I clicked on the story. Now, it's a video of them in the car. Well, you don't see the both of them, but I think she's holding like a big ass Hennessy bottle, like the gallon. Y'all know the gallon Henny bottles? I know y'all know about the gallon Henny bottles. So from there, I already knew. Oh, shit. But let me keep clicking. Clutch your pearls. Get ready to clutch your pearls again. Nothing could have prepared me for what I see next. What I see next on his story. This man took a video. I'm assuming they're in his, I'm assuming he had a hotel because, you know, she lives out there. She was living with her parents, right? So I'm assuming this is his hotel room, right? He takes a video, or multiple videos, actually. Y'all, why is this girl dancing for this man with no shirt on and in her underwear? Her titties out. Big ass titties too. Melons, okay? Her titties are out. She's dancing. She's rubbing all in her in the camera like she's auditioning to work at King of Diamonds or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, then the bitch is on the bed. Like, he's taking footage of all of this, y'all, for what I don't know. Then the bitch is on the bed, busting her open. She is like, I'm telling you, like, she's auditioning for King of Diamonds. Now she's in her thong at this point. So she just had her thong on, but the titties was out. She's on the bed, bending over, shaking that rump, okay, on the bed. Then it was a point where when she was dancing like this in the mirror, you seen the reflection of him in the mirror of him. He's in his boxers, y'all. This man is in his boxers, rubbing his while he's videotaping this girl But he didn't have her face in none of it. It was still giving no face, no case. I'm just like, if you didn't think that all of that was the icing on the cake, then the icing on the motherfucking cake, y'all. She's on the bed. Mind you, this is supposed to be a lesbian. This is supposed to be like your friend, your homegirl of so many years. Like, this bitch is on the bed, laying this way, right? Okay. Oh good, I got a little representation. This is her y'all, right? My hand is her. Why does he have a mini? Y'all know what this is. My ladies, y'all know what this is, that vibrates and that you put inside. Okay? But y'all get the point. And he's playing with her thing, y'all. On camera. On Snapchat. On his story. Like, not even like, you know what I'm saying? You just pressed, oh, rest in peace, I gotta take off as my screensaver. I love you. Rest in peace. Not even like, feel me, just go into the little video settings on his phone, y'all. My shit is blurry. Hold on. I don't know why I look like this. Like, but yeah, he ain't even do this. He ain't even do this. He ain't do that. You go to Snap. Out of all places you could go to record if you wanted to have footage to look back on, you put it on your Snapchat story, the same place that you know you have me on. So at this point, it's like, it's given like you just wanted to throw all of this in my face, because I don't know what would have perplexed this man to post your whole day leading up to, obviously y'all got drunk, hence the gallon of Henny, okay? And now the intro to a Pornhub on your Snapchat story, the intro to a Pornhub video on your Snapchat story. Anyways, y'all, so this is gonna be the end of part 1, okay? If you made it to the end of this video, okay, let me figure an emoji. I should have thought about this beforehand, but let's think of an emoji that y'all could put. Put this emoji. I'll put it on it. I'll edit. Can the camera focus? Thank you. I'll edit the video and tell y'all which specific emoji, because that explains this whole video. Put that emoji. Make sure y'all like this video. Please make sure you leave me some commentary, because I know y'all gonna have something to say. And make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Turn your post notifications on so that you know when part 2 drops, okay? Because it gets messier. If you think this is messy, you don't know messy, babe. You don't know messy. So I will catch y'all on part 2. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see y'all